Gang. What's poppin' with y'all, man? Welcome back to Mystery Podcast. Welcome back with Zohan's too. Yes, I am the host on the show. We all already know that. So everybody make sure they hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, all of the above. Uh, woo. Now we have part 6 that we're doing tonight, gang. The power of your subconscious mind. Part 6. For those of y'all that was here through part 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, I already know y'all done receive some exclusive gems and jewels. Y'all done receive some exclusive gems and jewels on top of me doing these books. You feel me? Doing these chapters every night. Actually, it's been excellent. It's been quite excellent to myself. I've been learning a lot. Like I said, from these chapters out this book, it's been excellent, man. One excellent journey. So we're gonna continue this journey, gang, and I'm gonna give you all the rest of this power of your subconscious mind. So let's get right into it. Y'all feel me? You got anything you want to comment, leave it in the comment section, man. I might not be responding. So let's just learn this. This a learning session right here. Let's go.
Chapter 12. Scientists use the subconscious mind. Many scientists realize the true importance of the subconscious mind. Edison, Marconi, Kettering, Poincaré, Einstein, and many others have used the subconscious mind. It has given them the insight and the know-how for all the great achievements in modern science and industry. Research has shown that the ability to bring into action the subconscious power has determined the success of all the great scientific and research workers. An instance of how a famous chemist, Friedrich von Stradonitz, used his subconscious mind to solve his problems is as follows. He had been working laboriously for a long time trying to rearrange the 6 carbon and the 6 hydrogen atoms of the benzene formula, and he was constantly perplexed and unable to solve the matter. Tired and exhausted, he turned the request over completely to his subconscious mind. Shortly afterward, as he was about to board a London bus, his subconscious presented his conscious mind with a sudden flash of a snake biting its own tail and turning around like a pinwheel. This answer from his subconscious mind gave him the long-sought answer of the circular rearrangement of the atoms that is known as the benzene ring. How a distinguished scientist brought forth his inventions. Nikola Tesla was a brilliant electrical scientist who brought forth the most amazing innovations. When an idea for a new invention came into his mind, he would build it up in his imagination, knowing that his subconscious mind would reconstruct and reveal to his conscious mind all the parts needed for its manufacture in concrete form. Through quietly contemplating every possible improvement, he spent no time in correcting defects and was able to give the technicians the perfect product of his mind. He said, "Invariably, my device works as I imagined it should. In 20 years, there has not been a single exception." How a famous naturalist solved his problem. Professor Agassiz, a distinguished American naturalist, discovered the indefatigable activities of his subconscious mind while he slept. The following has been reported by his widow in her biography of her famous husband. He had been for 2 weeks striving to decipher the somewhat obscure impression of a fossil fish on the stone slab in which it was preserved. Weary and perplexed, he put his work aside at last and tried to dismiss it from his mind. Shortly after, he waked one night, persuaded that while asleep, he had seen his fish with all the missing features perfectly restored. But when he tried to hold and make fast the image, it escaped him. Nevertheless, he went early to the Jardin des Plantes, thinking that on looking anew at the impression, he should see something which would put him on the track of his vision. In vain, the blurred record was as black as ever. The next night, he saw the fish again, but with no more satisfactory result. When he awoke, it disappeared from his memory as before. Hoping that the same experience might be repeated, on the 3rd night, he placed a pencil and paper beside his bed before going to sleep. Accordingly, toward morning, the fish reappeared in his dream, confusedly at first, but at last with such distinctness that he had no longer any doubt as to its zoological characters. Still half dreaming, in perfect darkness, He traced these characters on the sheet of paper at the bedside. In the morning, he was surprised to see in his nocturnal sketch features which he thought it impossible the fossil itself should reveal. He hastened to the Jardin des Plantes and, with his drawing as a guide, succeeded in chiseling away the surface of the stone under which portions of the fish proved to be hidden. When wholly exposed, it corresponded with his dream and his drawing, and he succeeded in classifying it with ease. An outstanding physician solved the problem of diabetes. Some years ago, I received a clipping from a magazine describing the origin of the discovery of insulin. This is the essence of the article as I recall it. About 40 years ago or more, Dr. Frederick Banting, a brilliant Canadian physician and surgeon, was concentrating his attention on the ravages of diabetes. At that time, medical science offered no effective method of arresting the disease. Dr. Banting spent considerable time experimenting and studying the international literature on the subject. One night, he was exhausted and fell asleep. While asleep, his subconscious mind instructed him to extract the residue from the degenerated pancreatic duct of dogs. This was the origin of insulin, which has helped millions of people. You will note that Dr. Banting had been consciously dwelling on the problem for some time, seeking a solution, a way out, and his subconscious responded accordingly. It does not follow that you will always get an answer overnight. The answer may not come for some time. Do not be discouraged. Keep on turning the problem over every night to the subconscious mind prior to sleep, as if you had never done it before. One of the reasons for the delay may be that you look upon it as a major problem. You may believe it will take a long time to solve it. Your subconscious mind is timeless and spaceless. Go to sleep believing you have the answer now. Do not postulate the answer in the future. Have an abiding faith in the outcome. Become convinced now as you read this book that there is an answer and a perfect solution for you. How a famous scientist and physicist escaped from a Russian concentration camp. Dr. Lothar von Blank-Schmidt, a member of the Rocket Society and an outstanding research electronic engineer, gives the following condensed summary of how he used his subconscious mind to free himself from certain death at the hands of brutal guards in a Russian prison camp coal mine. He states as follows: I was a prisoner of war in a coal mine in Russia, and I saw men dying all around me in that prison compound. We were watched over by brutal guards, arrogant officers, and sharp, fast-thinking commissars. After a short medical checkup, a quota of coal was assigned to each person. My quota was 300 pounds per day. In case any man did not fill his quota, his small food ration was cut down, and in a short time, he was resting in the cemetery. I started concentrating on my escape. I knew that my subconscious mind would somehow find a way. My home in Germany was destroyed, my family wiped out. All my friends and former associates were either killed in the war or were in concentration camps. I said to my subconscious mind, I want to go to Los Angeles, and you will find the way. I had seen pictures of Los Angeles, and I remembered some of the boulevards very well as some of the buildings. Every day and night, I would imagine I was walking down Wilshire Boulevard with an American girl whom I met in Berlin prior to the war. She is now my wife. In my imagination, we would visit the stores, ride buses, and eat in the restaurants. Every night, I made it a special point to drive my imaginary American automobile up and down the boulevards of Los Angeles. I made all this vivid and real. These pictures in my mind were as real and as natural to me as one of the trees outside the prison camp. Every morning, the chief guard would count the prisoners as they were lined up. He would call out 1, 2, 3, etc. And when 17 was called out, which was my number in sequence, I stepped aside. In the meantime, the guard was called away for a minute or so, and on his return, he started my mistake on the next man as 17. When the crew returned in the evening, the number of men was the same, and I was not missed, and the discovery would take a long time. I walked out of the camp undetected and kept walking for 24 hours.
Y'all gotta know this book right here that I'm playing, gang. This is a real life book. All of these things in this book took place. Everything in this book took action. And everything in this book can't take action with yourself. All you got to do is really manifest it. Put your mind to it. Now, me, I've been learning a lot about manifestation lately. You know what I'm saying? Over the last 2 years. And I have learned some intricate things that the brain can do, that the human brain can really do, gang. You know what I'm saying? It just takes us to open that mind of ours, dig deep inside of it, you feel me, and believe. And, stop doubting. The self-doubt really kills every chance we got at manifesting anything in life. Believe you me.
Hours. Resting in a deserted town the next day, I was able to live by fishing and killing some wildlife. I found coal trains going to Poland and traveled on them by night, until finally I reached Poland. With the help of friends, I made my way to Lucerne, Switzerland. One evening at the Palace Hotel, Lucerne, I had a talk with a man and his wife from the United States of America. This man asked me if I would care to be a guest at his home in Santa Monica, California. I accepted, and when I arrived in Los Angeles, I found that their chauffeur drove me along Wilshire Boulevard and many other boulevards which I had imagined so vividly in the long months in the Russian coal mines. I recognized the buildings which I had seen in my mind so often. It actually seemed as if I had been in Los Angeles before. I had reached my goal. I will never cease to marvel at the wonders of the subconscious mind. Truly, it has ways we know not of. How archaeologists and paleontologists reconstruct ancient scenes. These scientists know that their subconscious mind has a memory of everything that has ever transpired. As they study the ancient ruins and fossils through their imaginative perception, their subconscious mind aids them in reconstructing the ancient scenes. The dead past becomes alive and audible once more. Looking at these ancient temples and studying the pottery, statuary, tools, and household utensils of these ancient times, the scientist tells us of an age when there was no language. Communication was done by grunts, groans, and signs. The keen concentration and disciplined imagination of the scientist awakens the latent powers of his subconscious mind, enabling him to clothe the ancient temples with roofs and surround them with gardens, pools, and fountains. The fossil remains are clothed with eyes, sinews, and muscles, and they again walk and talk. The past becomes the living present, and we find that in mind, there is no time or space. Through disciplined, controlled, and directed imagination, you can be a companion of the most scientific and inspired thinkers of all time. How to receive guidance from your subconscious. When you have what you term a difficult decision to make, or when you fail to see the solution to your problem, begin at once to think constructively about it. If you are fearful and worried, you are not really thinking. True thinking is free from fear. Here is a simple technique you can use to receive.
True thinking is free of fear. True thinking is free of fear. See, when you think, and I was stating this to somebody else, when you think of something, you know what I'm saying? You can't think in a judgmental ass state of mind, like whether it's, good or bad, whether it's true or not true. You feel me? You can't think in fear at all. You can't even operate your mind pattern in that form, in that shape, in that fashion, in that, you know what I'm saying, reality at all. True thinking is really just thinking it out there, really just having no, process to that thought pattern at all. Just think, think, and it is, and you got to know that. You really do. You got to know that and believe that. Let's go.
Receive guidance on any subject. Quiet the mind and still the body. Tell the body to relax. It has to obey you. It has no volition, initiative, or self-conscious intelligence. Your body is an emotional disk which records your beliefs and impressions. Mobilize your attention. Focus your thought on the solution to your problem. Try to solve it with your conscious mind. Think how happy you would be about the perfect solution. Sense the feeling you would have if the perfect answer were yours now. Let your mind play with this mood in a relaxed way, then drop off to sleep. When you awaken and you do not have the answer, get busy about something else. Probably when you are preoccupied with something else, the answer will come into your mind like toast pops out of a toaster. In receiving guidance from the subconscious mind, the simple way is the best. This is an illustration. I once lost a valuable ring which was an heirloom. I looked everywhere for it and could not locate it. At night, I talked to my subconscious in the same manner that I would talk to anyone. I said to it prior to dropping off to sleep, "You know all things, you know where that ring is, and you now reveal to me where it is." In the morning, I awoke suddenly with the words ringing in my ear, "Ask Robert." I thought it very strange that I should ask Robert, a young boy about 9 years of age. However, I followed the inner voice of intuition. Robert said, "Oh yes, I picked it up in the yard while I was playing with the boys. I placed it on the desk in my room. I did not think it worth anything, so I did not say anything about it." The subconscious mind will always answer you.
And you know that's like this. Y'all ever thought about somebody, right? You ever was just talking about somebody or thought about them, you feel me? You had them on your mind, you know what I'm saying? And the next thing you know, they call you or they stop by your house. You feel me? And sometimes y'all will be like, man, what a coincidence. That ain't no goddamn coincidence. That's the power of your subconscious mind, gang. That's the power of your motherfucking subconscious mind, gang. You gotta know this.
If you trust it. His subconscious revealed the location of his father's will. A young man who attends my lectures had this experience. His father died and apparently left no will. However, this man's sister told him that their father had confided to her that a will had been executed which was fair to all. Every attempt to locate the will failed. Prior to sleep, he talked to his deeper mind as follows. I now turn this request over to the subconscious mind. It knows just where that will is and reveals it to me. Then he condensed his request down to one word, answer, repeating it over and over again as a lullaby. He lulled himself to sleep with the word answer. The next morning, this young man had an overpowering hunch to go to a certain bank in Los Angeles, where he found a safe deposit vault registered in the name of his father, the contents of which solved all his problems. Your thought, as you go to sleep, arouses the powerful latency which is within you. For example, let us suppose you are wondering whether to sell your home, buy a certain stock, sever partnership, move to New York, or stay in Los Angeles, dissolve the present contract, or take a new one. Do this. Sit quietly in your armchair or at the desk in your office. Remember that there is a universal law of action and reaction. The action is your thought. The reaction is the response from your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is reactive and reflexive. This is its nature. It rebounds, rewards, and repays. It is the law of correspondence. It responds by corresponding. As you contemplate right action, you will automatically experience a reaction or response in yourself, which represents the guidance or answer of your subconscious mind. In seeking guidance, you simply think quietly about right action, which means that you are using the infinite intelligence resident in the subconscious mind to the point where it begins to use you. From there on, your course of action is directed and controlled by the subjective wisdom within you, which is all-wise and omnipotent. Your decision will be right. There will only be right action because you are under a subjective compulsion to do the right thing. I use the word compulsion because the law of the subconscious is compulsion. The secret of guidance. The secret of guidance or right action is to mentally devote yourself to the right answer until you find its response in you. The response is a feeling, an inner awareness, an overpowering hunch whereby you know that you know.
Hey, that's one of them ones right there. One of them hunches when you know, you know. You feel me? That's one of them intuitional hunches. You feel me? They come straight from your intuition. That's when you really know. That's like, you ever knew something, like somebody done something to you, gang, or they stole something from you, or they lied to you about something, right? And you get this hunch that you know, like, dude, look, I know you jacking to me. I know you not really, you know what I'm saying, telling me the truth, but I'm gonna just give you the benefit of the doubt and sort of believe what you say. But you got this damn hunch in your gut feeling like, yo, I know, I already know. You know what I'm saying? I know what I know.
You have used the power to the point where it begins to use you. You cannot possibly fail or make one false step while operating under the subjective wisdom within you. You will find that all your ways are pleasantness, and all your paths are peace. Highlights to recall. 1. Remember that the subconscious mind has determined the success and wonderful achievements of all great scientific workers. 2. By
Now,
giving your
y'all remember,
conscious
man, these
attention and
highlights,
devotion
these notes and highlights we should be writing down, man. So y'all want to get your pens, get your pads, write them down. You know what I'm saying? Note them if you got them in your mind, note them down.
to the solution of a perplexing problem, your subconscious mind gathers all the necessary information and presents it full-blown to the conscious mind. 3. If you are wondering about the answer to a problem, try to solve it objectively. Get all the information you can from research and also from others. If no answer comes, turn it over to your subconscious mind prior to sleep, and the answer always comes. It never fails. 4. You do not always get the answer overnight. Keep on turning your request over to your subconscious until the day breaks and the shadows flee away. 5. You delay the answer by thinking it will take a long time or that it is a major problem. Your subconscious has no problem. It knows only the answer. 6. Believe that you have the answer now. Feel the joy of the answer and the way you would feel if you had the perfect answer. Your subconscious will respond to your feeling. 7. Any mental picture backed by faith and perseverance will come to pass through the miracle-working power of your subconscious. Trust it, believe in its power, and wonders will happen as you pray. 8. Your subconscious is the storehouse of memory, and within your subconscious are recorded all your experiences since childhood. 9. Scientists meditating on ancient scrolls, temples, fossils, etc., are able to reconstruct scenes of the past and make them alive today. Their subconscious mind comes to their aid. 10.
They said
Turn over your request for a...
That's how you know it's true. Scientists can do that. You feel me? The thing is, though, these scientists believe in what they can do. See, the difference with us out here, gang, we don't believe in anything. We don't believe in nothing till we see it. The most dumbest thing I ever heard in life. The most dumbest thing I ever witnessed in life. We don't believe in anything until we see it. Well, how the fuck everybody around here claim they believe in God? How's y'all claiming y'all believe in God, gang, and you don't even see him? But then when it comes to the things that we don't see, the supernatural things, the miracle, surrounded things, y'all don't believe it. Like, let's keep on, man.
Or a solution to your subconscious prior to sleep. Trust it and believe in it, and the answer will come. It knows all and sees all, but you must not doubt or question its powers. 11. The action is your thought, and the reaction is the response of your subconscious mind. If your thoughts are wise, your actions and decisions will be wise.
Right, you know what you
12.
know. Hey,
Guidance comes as a feeling, an inner awareness, an overpowering hunch whereby you know that you know. It is an inner sense of touch. Follow it. Chapter 13. Your subconscious and the wonders of sleep. You spend about 8 out of every 24 hours, or 1/3 of your entire life, in sleep. This is an inexorable law of life. This also applies to the animal and vegetable kingdoms. Sleep is a divine law, and many answers to our problems come to us when we are sound asleep upon the bed. Many people have advocated the theory that you get tired during the day, that you go to sleep to rest the body, and that a reparative process takes place while you sleep. Nothing rests in sleep. Your heart, lungs, and all your vital organs function while you are asleep. If you eat prior to sleep, the food is digested and assimilated. Also, your skin secretes perspiration, and your nails and hair continue to grow.
That's exactly right. That's right. Y'all see James said, look, don't have to be written, it's already done. And move on. That's exactly, it don't gotta be written, it's already done. And once it's already said and done, you move on from it and you let it go, gang. Let's keep going. Told y'all the book, hey, they know what they talking about.
Your subconscious mind never rests or sleeps. It is always active, controlling all your vital forces. The healing process takes place more rapidly while you are asleep, as there is no interference from your conscious mind. Remarkable answers are given to you while you are asleep. Why we sleep. Dr. John Bigelow, a famous research authority on sleep, demonstrated that at night, while asleep, you receive impressions showing that the nerves of the eyes, ears, nose, and taste buds are active during sleep, and also that the nerves of your brain are quite active. He says that the main reason we sleep is because, quote, The nobler part of the soul is united by abstraction to our higher nature and becomes a participant in the wisdom and foreknowledge of the gods." Unquote. Dr. Bigelow states also, quote, "The results of my studies have not only strengthened my convictions that the supposed exemption from customary toils and activities was not the final purpose of sleep, but have also made clearer to my mind the conviction that no part of a man's life deserves to be considered more indispensable to its symmetrical and perfect spiritual development than the while he is separated from the phenomenal world of sleep." Unquote. Prayer, a form of sleep. Your conscious mind gets involved with vexations, strife, and contentions of the day, and it is very necessary to withdraw periodically from sense evidence and the objective world, and commune silently with the inner wisdom of your subconscious mind. By claiming guidance, strength, and greater intelligence in all phases of your life, you will be enabled to overcome all difficulties and solve your daily problems. This regular withdrawal from sense evidence and the noise and confusion of everyday living is also a form of sleep. For example, you become asleep to the world of the senses and alive to the wisdom and power of your subconscious mind. Startling effects of sleep deprivation. Lack of sleep can cause you to become irritable, moody, and depressed. Dr. George Stevenson of the National Association of Mental Health says, quote, "I believe it can safely be said that all human beings need a minimum of 6 hours sleep to be healthy. Most people need more. Those who think they can get along on less are fooling themselves." Unquote. Medical research scholars investigating sleep processes and deprivation of sleep point out that severe insomnia has preceded psychotic breakdown in some instances. Remember, you are spiritually recharged during sleep, and adequate sleep is essential to produce joy and vitality in life. You need more sleep. Robert O'Brien, in an article, "Maybe You Need More Sleep," in an issue of the Reader's Digest, reports the following experiment on sleep. Quote, "For the last 3 years, experiments have been in progress at the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research in Washington, D.C. Subjects, more than 100 military and civilian volunteers, have been kept awake for as long as 4 days. Thousands of tests have measured the effects on their behavior and personality. Results of these tests have given scientists astonishingly new insights into the mysteries of sleep. They now know that the tired brain apparently craves sleep so hungrily that it will sacrifice anything to get it. After only a few hours of sleep loss, fleeting stolen naps, called lapses, or microsleep, occurred at the rate of 3 or 4 an hour. As in real sleep, eyelids drooped, heartbeat slowed. Each lapse lasted just a fraction of a second. Sometimes the lapses were periods of blankness. Sometimes they were filled with images, wisps of dreams. As hours of sleep loss mounted, the lapses took place more often and lasted longer, perhaps 2 or 3 seconds. Even if the subjects had been piloting an airliner in a thunderstorm, they still couldn't have resisted microsleeps for those few priceless seconds. And it can happen to you, as many who have fallen asleep at the wheel of a car can testify. Another startling effect of sleep deprivation was its attack on human memory and perception. Many sleep-deprived subjects were unable to retain information long enough to relate it to the task they were supposed to perform. They were totally befuddled in situations requiring them to hold several factors in mind and act on them, as a pilot must when he skillfully integrates wind direction, airspeed, altitude, and glide path to make a safe landing. Unquote. Sleep brings counsel. A young lady in Los Angeles who listens to my morning radio talks told me that she had been offered a lucrative position in New York City at twice her present salary. She was wondering whether to accept or not and prayed prior to sleep as follows: "The creative intelligence of my subconscious mind knows what is best for me. Its tendency is always lifeward, and it reveals to me the right decision which blesses me and all concerned. I give thanks for the answer which I know will come to me." She repeated this simple prayer over and over again as a lullaby prior to sleep, and in the morning she had a persistent feeling that she should not accept the offer. She rejected the offer, and subsequent events verified her inward sense of knowing. Because the company went bankrupt in a few months, following their offer of employment to her. The conscious mind may be correct on the facts objectively known, but the intuitive faculty of her subconscious mind saw the failure of the concern in question and prompted her accordingly. Saved from certain disaster. I will illustrate how the wisdom of your subconscious mind can instruct you and protect you relative to your request for right action as you go to sleep. Many years ago, before the Second World War, I was offered a very lucrative assignment in the Orient, and I prayed for guidance and the right decision as follows. Infinite intelligence within me knows all things, and the right decision is revealed to me in divine order. I will recognize the answer when it comes. I repeated this simple prayer over and over again as a lullaby prior to sleep, and in a dream came the vivid realization of things to come 3 years hence. An old friend appeared in the dream and said, "Read these headlines, don't go." The headlines of the newspaper which appeared in the dream related to war and the attack on Pearl Harbor. Occasionally, the writer dreams literally. The aforementioned dream was undoubtedly a dramatization of the subconscious mind, which projected a person whom I trusted and respected. To some, a warning may come in the form of a mother who appears in a dream. She tells the person not to go here or there, and the reason for the warning. Your subconscious mind is all-wise. It knows all things. Oftentimes, it will speak to you only in a voice that your conscious mind will immediately accept as true. Sometimes, your subconscious will warn you in a voice which sounds like that of your mother or some loved one, which may cause you to stop on the street. And you find, if you had gone another foot, a falling object from a window might have struck you on the head. My subconscious mind is one with the universal subconscious, and it knew the Japanese were planning a war, and it also knew when the war would start. Dr. Rhine, director of the Department of Psychology at Duke University, has gathered together a vast amount of evidence showing that a great number of people all over the world see events before they happen, and in many instances are, therefore, able to avoid the tragic event which was foreseen vividly in a dream. The dream, which I had showed clearly the headlines in the New York Times about 3 years prior to the tragedy of Pearl Harbor. In consequence of this dream, I immediately canceled the trip as I felt a subconscious compulsion to do so. 3 years later, the Second World War proved the truth of the inner voice of intuition. Your future is in your subconscious mind. Remember that the future, the result of your habitual thinking, is already in your mind, except when you change it through prayer. The future of a country, likewise, is in the collective subconscious of the people of that nation. There's nothing strange in the dream I had, wherein I saw the headlines of the New York newspapers long before the war began. The war had already taken place in my mind, and all the plans of attack were already engraved on that great recording instrument, the subconscious mind, or collective unconscious of the universal mind. Tomorrow's events are in your subconscious mind. So are next week's and next month's, and they may be seen by a highly psychic or clairvoyant person. No disaster or tragedy can happen to you if you decide to pray. Nothing is predetermined or foreordained.
And you know what's crazy? They said everything was already predestined. He said nothing is predetermined. I'm wondering, is predetermined the same thing as predestined? Your mind got a lot of powers to him, gang. You feel me? That's all that let me know. That let me know with our mind we can do a lot of powerful things. You feel me? That let me know we can do a lot of wonderful things. But what do it takes to do these wonderful things, gang? What must one go through to do these wonderful, great things? You know what I'm saying? Take these wonderful measurements to find out what the power of one's mind hold. At the end of the day, like I said, there's one example I do know always true. Every time it seems like when we're thinking about somebody, every time we talk about somebody, we mention somebody, you feel me? We could just be speaking about them. Just could have brought them up. Just could have had an idea on our head, you feel me, that might have ran across, you know, and the next thing you know, the person we thinking about, the person we was just talking about calls, they come through, they pops up, you know what I'm talking about? That's what's crazy, man. That's real crazy. You know what I'm saying? Scientifically, Unreviewable. Yup. Cannot explain the explain. Catch up now. And that's true. And that's true. James, that's true right there. Let's get back to it, y'all. Let's get back to it.
Your mental attitude, for example, the way you think, feel, and believe, determines your destiny. You can, through scientific prayer, which is explained in a previous chapter, mold, fashion, and create your own future. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. A cat nap nets him $15,000. One of my students mailed me a newspaper clipping 3 or 4 years ago about a man called Ray Hammerstrom, a roller at the steelworks in Pittsburgh operated by Jones and Laughlin Steel Corporation. He received $15,000 for his dream. According to the article, the engineers could not fix a faulty switch in a newly installed bar mill, which controlled the delivery of straight bars to the cooling beds. The engineers worked on the switch about 11 or 12 times to no avail. Hammerstrom thought a lot about the problem and tried to figure out a new design which might work. Nothing worked. One afternoon, he lay down for a nap, and prior to sleep, he began to think about the answer to the switch problem. He had a dream in which a perfect design for the switch was portrayed. When he awoke, he sketched his new design according to the outline
Now,
of his
things
dream.
do happen like that. I do believe that. I do believe things happen like that. You feel me? Now, that's some sort of like a miracle to me, if you ask me. Your subconscious mind give you the answers to it. You feel me? Your ancestors, rather, the universe, rather, give you the answers to what you've been looking for all this time. And the whole while you was up, you know what I'm saying? You was trying to figure it out yourself. It was hard to say. Probably because you was stumbling right over the answer and didn't know it. Probably because it was right there, but it was so clouded and distracted with so many things. It be like that. It do.
This visionary catnap won Hammerstrom a check for $15,000, the largest award the firm ever gave an employee for a new idea. How a famous
That's a lot of
professor
money.
solved his problem in sleep. Dr. H.V. Helprecht, professor of Assyrian at the University of Pennsylvania, wrote as follows, quote, "One Saturday evening, I had been wearying myself in the vain attempt to decipher 2 small fragments of agate, which were supposed to belong to the finger rings of some Babylonians. About midnight, weary and exhausted, I went to bed and dreamed the following remarkable dream. A tall, thin priest of Nippur, about 40 years of age, led me to the treasure chamber of the temple, a small, low-ceilinged room without windows, while scraps of agate and lapis lazuli lay scattered on the floor. Here he addressed me as follows. The 2 fragments, which you have published separately on pages 22 and 26, belong together and are not finger rings. The first 2 rings served as earrings for the statue of the god. The 2 fragments you have are the portions of them. If you will put them together, you will have confirmation of my words. I awoke at once, examined the fragments, and to my astonishment, found the dream verified. The problem was then at last solved." Unquote. This demonstrates clearly the creative manifestation of his subconscious mind, which knew the answer to all his problems.
Right.
How the subconscious worked for a famous writer while he slept. Robert Louis Stevenson, in one of his books, Across the Plains, devotes a whole chapter to dreams. He was a vivid dreamer and had the persistent habit of giving.
That let me know that never stop dreaming. You feel me? Never stop believing in my dreams. Never stop believing in your dreams, gang out there, because this book tells a lot of those tales where famous people, scientifically proven people, scientists, they all had these wild, vivid dreams, or they all had these manifestation methods that they use to bring forth, the existence of what they thought in their conscious mind. They brought it forth through their subconscious mind. That let me know how strong the mind is, how powerful the human mind is. And that's why they tell you when we was younger, a mind is a terrible thing to waste, gang. That they was right. A mind is always a terrible thing to waste. You know what I'm talking about? Definitely, if you already know you got the skills to build, why not build? Why not go the hardest you can? You know what I'm saying? Why waste your time on bullshit distractions, marvels of the world, when you can spend that time and that energy, that mind energy, that mental energy, on marvels of the supernatural, as they call it, marvels of the unseen, as I call it. Let's keep going though.
Giving specific instructions to his subconscious every night prior to sleep. He would request his subconscious to evolve stories for him while he slept. For example, if Stevenson's funds were at a low ebb, his command to his subconscious would be something like this: give me a good, thrilling novel which will be marketable and profitable. His subconscious responded magnificently. Stevenson says these little brownies, the intelligences and powers of his subconscious, can tell me a story piece by piece, like a serial, and keep me, its supposed creator, all the while in total ignorance of where they aim. And he added, that part of my work, which is done when I am up and about, while he is consciously aware and awake, is by no means necessarily mine, since all goes to show that the brownies have a hand in it even then. Sleep in peace and wake in joy. To those who suffer from insomnia, you will find the following prayer very effective. Repeat it slowly, quietly, and lovingly prior to sleep. My toes are relaxed. My ankles are relaxed. My abdominal muscles are relaxed. My heart and lungs are relaxed. My hands and arms are relaxed. My neck is relaxed. My brain is relaxed. My face is relaxed. My eyes are relaxed. My whole mind and body are relaxed. I fully and freely forgive everyone, and I sincerely wish for them harmony, health, peace, and all the blessings of life.
And some of y'all really got to do this, gang. Some of
security.
y'all really got to tell yourself these good affirmations. You feel me? Out there all across the world, whoever you are, you really got to tell yourself this, because you got to reset your mind into thinking peaceful. You got to reset your mind into the harmony stage, that it once was in. I know all these things out here in the world and got you distracted. All these beefs, all these problems you done ran across, that you done ran into, and got you distracted, gang. But you got to learn how to reset your mind. You know what I'm saying? You got to reset your mind, just like he said. You got to tell yourself these things and repeat it. This prayer will help you get out of that sleep insomnia stage, that you're in. There's a lot of people out there who just can't sleep. They restless. They find themselves restless. They mind always wondering, running. You feel me? They mind always trying to secure an answer to all of the problems that they ever had, gang. Well, do what this book is telling you. This is one of the greatest books that I found myself, and once I experienced the experiences in this book that it was talking about. I enjoyed it. I found it to have beneficial results. Definitely if you use it correctly. So,
And in peace, a great stillness steals over me, and a great calm quiets my whole being as I realize the divine presence within me. I know that the realization of life and love heals me. I wrap myself in the mantle of love and fall asleep filled with goodwill for all. Throughout the night, peace remains with me, and in the morning I shall be filled with life and love. A circle of love is drawn around me. I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. I sleep in peace. I wake in joy, and in him I live, move, and have my being. Summary of your aids to the wonders of sleep. 1. If you are worried that you will not wake up on time, suggest to your subconscious mind prior to sleep the exact time you wish to arise, and it will awaken you. It needs no clock. Do the same thing with all problems. There is nothing too hard for your subconscious. 2. Your subconscious never
that's
sleeps.
true. I'm not gonna
It is
lie.
always on the
Like
job.
today, right? I was laying back resting. I had to rest. I took a little cat nap right before we got the wife and kids. And I think I laid back around like 104. I know I gotta shoot out at least around 130, 140. So I went and I laid back. I kept everything on my jacket and everything. I ended up dozing off, but I jumped up out of my sleep at least 30 minutes later. Now, usually when I do that and I take a cat nap prior to picking up everybody, gang, I find myself oversleeping. You know what I'm talking about? I find myself oversleeping way past the time. But this time, I know before I lay down, right before I lay down, I was telling myself, damn, I don't want to lay down because I know I oversleep. I said, I got to make sure I got to make sure I get back up within at least 30 minutes. I just want to lay down for at least 30 minutes, high back up around 140. When I looked at the time, gang, I think it was like 145, 146. So basically what I did was I kept telling myself consciously that I wanted to wake up around 140, in order to be able to make it down there in time. And my subconscious mind, it grabbed that and it did. It woke me up without an alarm clock, but it acted as if it was its own alarm clock, gang. I'm talking about crucial business.
It controls all your vital functions. Forgive yourself and everyone else before you go to sleep, and healing will take place much more rapidly. 3. Guidance is given you while you are asleep, sometimes in a dream. The healing currents are also released, and in the morning, you feel refreshed and rejuvenated. 4. When troubled by the vexations and strife of the day, still the wheels of your mind and think about the wisdom and intelligence lodged in your subconscious mind, which is ready to respond to you. This will give you peace, strength, and confidence. 5. Sleep is essential for peace of mind and health of body. Lack of sleep can cause irritation, depression, and mental disorders. You need 8 hours sleep. 6. Medical research scholars point out that insomnia precedes psychotic breakdowns. 7. You are spiritually recharged during sleep. Adequate sleep is essential for joy and vitality in life. 8. Your tired brain craves sleep so hungrily that it will sacrifice anything to get it. Many who have fallen asleep at the wheel of an automobile can testify to this. 9. Many sleep-deprived people have poor memories and lack proper coordination. They become befuddled, confused, and disoriented. 10. Sleep brings counsel. Prior to sleep, claim that the infinite intelligence of your subconscious mind is guiding and directing you. Then, watch for the lead which comes, perhaps on awakening. 11. Trust your subconscious completely. Know that its tendency is always lifeward. Occasionally, your subconscious answers you in a very vivid dream and a vision in the night. You can be forewarned in a dream in the same way as the author of this book was warned. 12. Your future is in your mind now, based on your habitual thinking and beliefs. Claiming infinite intelligence leads and guides you, and that all good is yours, and your future will be wonderful. Believe it and accept it. Expect the best, and invariably, the best will come to you. 13. If you are writing a novel, play, or book, or are working on an invention, speak to your subconscious mind at night and claim boldly that its wisdom, intelligence, and power are guiding, directing, and revealing to you the ideal play, novel, book, or revealing the perfect solution, whatever it may be. Wonders will happen as you pray this way. Chapter 14. Your subconscious mind and marital problems. Ignorance of the functions and powers of the mind is the cause of all marital trouble. Friction between husband and wife can be solved by each using the law of mind correctly. By praying together, they stay together. The contemplation of divine ideals.
That is good for them couples, y'all. The married couples out there, man. This one good, man. Y'all take notes, man.
The study of the laws of life, the mutual agreement on a common purpose and plan, and the enjoyment of personal freedom bring about that harmonious marriage, that wedded bliss, that sense of oneness where the two become one. The best time to prevent divorce is before marriage. It is not wrong to try to get out of a very bad situation. But why get into the bad situation in the first place? Would it not be better to give attention to the real cause of marital problems? In other words, to really get at the root of the matter involved? As with all other problems of men and women, the problems of divorce, separation, annulment, and endless litigation
Hey, but
are
y'all know
directly
that's true anyway. A lot of shit in life, people don't get to the root problem. You feel me? We won't get to the bottom of it. You feel me? And that's where the shit be at. That's where the problems started. We gotta learn how to get to the bottom of the goddamn problems before we try to skip ahead. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we be skipping ahead too fast and don't even know. My guy, the root of the problem is where the shit at. That's where it started at. So we got to jump there first and learn to handle that. Learn to get to that straight up.
Traceable to lack of knowledge of the working and interrelationship of the conscious and subconscious mind. The meaning of marriage. Marriage, to be real, must first be on a spiritual basis. It must be of the heart, and the heart is the chalice of love. Honesty, sincerity, kindness, and integrity are also forms of love. Each partner should be perfectly honest and sincere with the other. It is not a true marriage when a man marries a woman for her money, social position, or to lift his ego, because this indicates a lack of sincerity, honesty, and true love. Such a marriage is a farce, a sham, and a masquerade. When a woman says, I am tired working, I want to get married because I want security.
A sham and a masquerade, that's what he called it, gang. So you got to know that, man. A lot of you niggas out there, you know, a farce, a sham, or a masquerade. You feel me? I don't know how you get yourself caught up in that, but in this life that we live in, I don't think that's what you should be picking. I don't think that's what you should be finding yourself fumbling around with, you know, a farce, a masquerade, or a sham. Not at all. You know, you got to find something real. You got to make sure you're real to yourself before you can find something real. Because you can't find nothing real. You ain't going to be able to notice something real if you ain't real to yourself. You know what I'm talking about? So you got to be real to yourself first, gang, to understand what real is.
Her premise is false. She is not using the laws of mind correctly. Her security depends on her knowledge of the interaction of the conscious and subconscious mind and its application. For example, a woman will never lack for wealth or health if she applies the techniques outlined in the respective chapters of this book. Her wealth can come to her independent of her husband, father, or anyone else. A woman is not dependent on her husband for health, peace, joy, inspiration, guidance, love, wealth, security, happiness, or anything in the world. Her security and peace of mind come from her knowledge of the inner powers within her and from the constant use of the laws of her own mind in a constructive fashion. How to attract the ideal husband. You are now acquainted with the way your subconscious mind works. You know that whatever you impress upon it, it will be experienced in your world. Begin now to impress your subconscious mind with the qualities and characteristics you desire in a man. The following is an excellent technique. Sit down at night in your armchair, close your eyes, let go, relax the body, become very quiet, passive, and receptive. Talk to your subconscious mind and say to it, I am now attracting a man into my experience who is honest, sincere, loyal, faithful, peaceful, happy, and prosperous. These qualities which I admire are sinking down into my subconscious mind now. As I dwell upon these characteristics, they become a part of me and are embodied subconsciously. I know there is an irresistible law of attraction and that I attract to me a man according to my subconscious belief. I attract that which I feel to be true in my subconscious mind. I know I can contribute to his peace and happiness. He loves my ideals, and I love his ideals. He does not want to make me over, neither do I want to make him over. There is mutual love, freedom, and respect. Practice this process of impregnating your subconscious mind. Then you will have the joy of attracting to you a man possessing the qualities and characteristics you mentally dwelt upon. Your subconscious intelligence will open up a pathway whereby both of you will meet, according to the irresistible and changeless flow of your own subconscious mind. Have a keen desire to give the best that is in you of love, devotion, and cooperation. Be receptive to this gift of love which you have given to your subconscious mind. How to attract the ideal wife. Affirm as follows. I now attract the right woman who is in complete accord with me. This is a spiritual union because it is divine love functioning through the personality of someone with whom I blend perfectly. I know I can give to this woman love, light, peace, and joy. I feel and believe I can make this woman's life full, complete, and wonderful. I now decree that she possesses the following qualities and attributes. She is spiritual, loyal, faithful, and true. She is harmonious, peaceful, and happy. We are irresistibly attracted to each other. Only that which belongs to love, truth, and beauty can enter my experience. I accept my ideal companion now. As you think quietly and with interest on the qualities and attributes which you admire in the companion you seek, you will build the mental equivalent into your mentality. Then, the deeper currents of your subconscious mind will bring both of you together in divine order. No need for third mistake. Recently, a teacher said to me, I have had 3 husbands, and all 3 have been passive, submissive, and dependent on me to make all decisions and govern everything. Why do I attract such type men? I asked her whether she had known that her second husband was the effeminate type, and she replied, of course not, I would not have married him. Apparently, she had not learned anything from the first mistake. The trouble was with her own personality makeup. She was very masculine, domineering, and unconsciously wanted someone who would be submissive and passive so that she could play the dominant role. All this was unconscious motivation, and her subconscious picture attracted to her what she subjectively wanted. She had to learn to break
That's
the
crazy
pattern
because
by
we got a
adopting.
lot of ladies out there, man. We got a lot of ladies out there that play the dominant role and they want a nigga who gonna be, you feel me, submissive, man. That's crazy, gang. At the end of the day, but then again, it's not because they want what they want. People love who they love. They want what they love, you know. And ain't nothing wrong with that, but you gotta learn how to work your subconscious mind to get what you want. That's the thing. That's the king thing. That's what I'm trying to teach y'all out here. You feel me? That's the point of these videos. At the end of the day, a lot of people, they be out there, they scared to take control of their subconscious mind. They don't even know what it means to be in control of their subconscious mind. In divine order, pay attention. Yes, that's right. You feel me? In all ways, you gotta pay attention in divine order. A lot of people can't even listen with their divine ears, you know, with their spiritual ears. They gotta be spiritually listening to the Lord, and I think He'll be able to give them that subconscious call. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of people be scared of that subconscious call. They don't want to take accountability and take responsibility as a subconscious leader, as a spiritual leader. You know what I'm saying? As I call it, a spiritual leader, because that's what you are. Definitely, if you got that calling, if you got that subconscious calling. Some people ain't even got that calling at all. You know, some people still sleep, man. Some people still sleepwalking. They like zombies around here. They don't even know what the hell the calling is if it's knocking at their door. They won't know how to answer it. So let's get into it again.
Adopting the right prayer process. How she broke the negative pattern. The above-mentioned woman learned a simple truth. When you believe you can have the type of man you idealize, it is done unto you as you believe. The following is the specific prayer she used to break the old subconscious pattern and attract to her the ideal mate. I am building into my mentality the type of man I deeply desire. The man I attract for a husband is strong, powerful, loving, very masculine, successful, honest, loyal, and faithful. He finds love and happiness with me. I love to follow where he leads. I know he wants me, and I want him. I am honest, sincere, loving, and kind. I have wonderful gifts to offer him. They're goodwill, a joyous heart, and a healthy body. He offers me the same. It is mutual. I give and I receive. Divine intelligence knows where this man is, and the deeper wisdom of my subconscious mind is now bringing both of us together in its own way. And we recognize each other immediately. I release this request to my subconscious mind. I give thanks for the perfect answer. She prayed in the above manner night and morning, affirming these truths and knowing that through frequent occupation of the mind, she would reach the mental equivalent of that which she sought. The answer to her prayer. Several months went by. She had a great number of dates and social engagements, none of which was agreeable to her. When she was about to question, waver, doubt, and vacillate, she reminded herself that the infinite intelligence was bringing it to pass in its own way, and that there was nothing to be concerned about. Her final decree in her divorce proceedings was granted, which brought her a great sense of release and mental freedom. Shortly afterward, she went to work as a receptionist in a doctor's office. She told me that the minute she saw the physician, she knew he was the man she was praying about. Apparently, he knew it too, because he proposed to her the first week she was in the office, and their subsequent marriage was ideally happy. This physician was not the passive or submissive type, but was a real man, a former football player, an outstanding athlete, and was a deeply spiritual man, though he was completely devoid of any sectarian or denominational affiliation. She got what she prayed for because she claimed it mentally until she reached the point of saturation. In other words, she mentally and emotionally united with her idea, and it became a part of her in the same way that an apple becomes a part of her bloodstream. Should I get a divorce? Divorce is an individual problem. It cannot be generalized. In some cases, of course, there never should have been a marriage. In some cases, divorce is not the solution. No more so than marriage is the solution for a lonely man. Divorce may be right for one person and wrong for another. A divorced woman may be far more sincere and noble than many of her married sisters who perhaps are living a lie. For example, I once talked with a woman whose husband was a dope fiend, an ex-convict, a wife-beater, and a non-provider. She had been told it was wrong to get a divorce. I explained to her that marriage is of the heart. If two hearts blend harmoniously, lovingly, and sincerely, that is the ideal marriage. The pure action of the heart is love. Following this explanation, she knew what to do. She knew in her heart that there is no divine law which compelled her to be browbeaten, intimidated, and beaten because someone said,
"Why did he have to describe her husband like that? He bogus as hell."
I pronounce you man and wife. If you are in doubt as to what to do, ask for guidance, knowing that there is always an answer and you will receive it. Follow the lead that comes to you in the silence of your soul. It speaks to you in peace. Drifting into divorce. Recently, a young couple, married for only a few months, were seeking a divorce. I discovered that the young man had a constant fear that his wife would leave him. He expected rejection, and he believed that she would be unfaithful. These thoughts haunted his mind and became an obsession with him. His mental attitude was one of separation and suspicion. She felt unresponsive to him. It was his own feeling or atmosphere of loss and separation operating through them. This brought about a condition or action in accordance with the mental pattern behind it. There is a law of action and reaction, or cause and effect. The thought is the action,
true, gang.
and the response of the subconscious.
When I used to always be so negative, and thought process used to be so negative in the mind. You feel me? And when you that negative in the mind, shit ain't what it is. Maybe the motherfucker don't love me. Maybe they cheating on me. Maybe this, maybe that. You can think so hard on that till you bring that shit true. You feel me? Till you manifest exactly that, and that's why you got to stop thinking like that. See, a lot of times, a lot of us don't be taught how to not think like that, nor were we taught to think like that. I think once we get ourselves caught in that realm of thinking, it's just a matter of time before, you know what I'm saying, a snowball effect start, raveling up around that one thought process. So we got to learn how to stop thinking like that. Stop thinking negative about every situation. And the book proves that it proves that the more negative we think on things, the more, likely it is to be resulted in our outcome of life and our reality. So we got to learn how to step a few steps back on that. We never been taught it then. Now we're being taught it now, because I know I'm being taught it now, gang. If I wouldn't have never found this book, I would have never learned that the more negative you think about the negative things, the more likely chances are that they'll come true, and the more you think positively about things and the scale of the positiveness that you do think about things, the more likely the results of that positive event or action is to come true. So let's keep going.
Conscious mind is the reaction. His wife left home and asked for a divorce, which is what he feared and believed she would do. Divorce begins in the mind. Divorce takes place first in the mind. The legal proceedings follow after. These two young people were full of resentment, fear, suspicion, and anger. These attitudes weaken, exhaust, and debilitate the whole being. They learned that hate divides and that love unites. They began to realize what they had been doing with their minds. Neither one of them knew the law of mental action, and they were misusing their minds and bringing on chaos and misery. These two people went back together at my suggestion and experimented with prayer therapy. They began to radiate love, peace, and goodwill to each other. Each one practiced radiating harmony, health, peace, and love to the other, and they alternated in the reading of the Psalms every night. Their marriage is growing more beautiful every day. The nagging wife. Many times the reason the wife nags is because she gets no attention. Oftentimes it is a craving for love and affection. Give your wife attention and show your appreciation. Praise and exalt all her many good points. There is also the nagging type of woman who wants to make the man conform to her particular pattern. This is about the quickest way in the world to get rid of a man. The wife and the husband must cease being scavengers, always looking at the petty faults or errors in each other. Let each give attention and praise for the constructive and wonderful qualities in the other.
The quickest way is to get rid of a man. Y'all heard him, he said the nagging wife, the one who nag in order to change the person's pattern. It's one of the quickest ways to get rid of a man. Ladies, listen about
brooding
that.
husband. If a man begins to brood, grows morbid against his wife because of the things she said or did, he is, psychologically speaking, committing adultery. One of the meanings of adultery is idolatry. For example, giving attention to or uniting mentally with that which is negative and destructive. When a man is silently resenting his wife and is full of hostility toward her, he is unfaithful. He is not faithful to his marriage vows, which are to love,
Y'all hear
share.
it? Y'all hear it? See, he said when you been silently, you know what I'm saying, rude, and you negative against her, that's unfaithful. You feel me? I used to be one of them people right there, and he didn't say nothing about cheating. Let's go back and let's hear what he said. Come on.
And honor her also. He is not faithful to his marriage, his wife, and is full of hostility
Y'all hear that?
and destructive.
Look.
When a man is silently resenting his wife and is full of hostility toward her, he is unfaithful. He is not faithful to his marriage vows, which are to love, cherish, and honor her all the days of his life.
Okay.
The man who is brooding, bitter, and resentful can swallow his sharp remarks, abate his anger, and he can go to great lengths to be considerate, kind, and courteous. He can deftly skirt the differences. Through praise and mental effort, he can get out of the habit of antagonism. Then, he will be able to get along better, not only with his wife, but with business associates also. Assume the harmonious state, and eventually, you will find peace and harmony. The great mistake.
Hey, that's true, man. That's totally true. You feel me? But I never looked at it like that. Ain't nobody ever put it to me like that. Like, when you acting like this and like that towards your woman, or you feel me, when you not speaking with her, you turning your back on her, you not talking to her when she calling you, she needs some help type shit. Cause y'all know how niggas get, gang. We do get like that. We don't want to say nothing to a motherfucker. Like, listen, don't even speak to me. You feel me? Don't even say nothing to me. I'm mad as hell at you. But that's been unfaithful. You know what I'm saying? To the vows that we did vow to the woman, to the wife. At the end of the day, I learn a lot, man. Every time I get these audio books up, or I choose to watch somebody shit that teach something about the conscious mind, because like I said, the conscious mind is powerful. Something about that. That's why when I was younger, I wanted to be a neurologist scientist. You feel me? And study the brain and study the works of the brain. I never knew it was that intricate though. That's crazy. That's different. But that's deep, man. I'm an hour in though, gang. I see I'm an hour and 8 minutes in. I'm trying to see where we at in the book. We in chapter 14. We in chapter 14, page 1. What is that? A little. 157. 157. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna pick back up. I'm gonna have to pick back up. I'm back tomorrow. We're gonna drop another live, man. We on page 157. As a matter of fact, let me write that down. You feel me? I was looking for it. The other day. I'm like, damn, what chapter did we leave off? On that good book, great book. I have to write that chapter down. and go back live on it. That book is great, man. Excellent book. And if y'all want to find that book yourselves, you can. It's called The Power of the Subconscious Mind. You feel me? The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. So check it out. That book is by Joseph Murphy. Great book, great author. You know, all the above. I think a lot of us should study the subconscious mind. You know, me myself, I'm finna get up off of this. Get up out of here, and I'm gonna let y'all enjoy yourselves. You feel me? Those of y'all that haven't got the beginning of the book or heard anything from the beginning of the book, or just now stepping in, fam, rewind the live. You feel me? Go back, watch the live. But I am out. I love y'all. Y'all make sure y'all take care, stay safe. I'm gone.
Man, you bitch niggas better ante your butt elevate. I need 6-figure money, won't hella bucks and hella cake. Fuck boy, I been on dummy, shooting hella ops, make them a day. If not him, then kill his mama, make him feel his wrath in the hella way. Hydro shock, put his eye, make through his chest, watch as they swim away. I don't stop shooting till you die, and your last breath, and then I skid away. This a hollow